So if you're having a problem growing your natural hair longer, I really want you to watch this video, okay? We're at the no judgment zone where you can learn how to have the healthiest natural hair possible, and you can ask any questions that you have with no judgment. So this is a very safe environment to really just learn what to do with your hair when you need to do it instead of not knowing, because how do you know something that you don't know? And I want to talk to you about growing your natural hair longer. So we're going to be talking about what is stopping you from growing your hair longer. And I'm not just asking you that question. I'm going to tell you what's stopping you from growing your hair longer, because I see it all the time. And I even went through it myself with my natural hair when I was going through trying to grow my hair longer. It was like I felt like my hair had stopped growing. Then it slowed down. Actually, it slowed down first and then it stopped growing. And when I realized what I was doing all of the time, not even realizing it, I later found that my hair grows pretty fast, but I was doing things all the time that stopped my hair from growing longer on a consistent base. Okay, so if you are that person that's having a hard time growing your natural hair longer, keep watching. You don't want to miss this. Okay, so as you are coming on, please say hello to me, because I love to connect with you all. I am a human being just like you are, so I love and thrive from connection, and I would just like to know who is watching. Okay, so what I'm about to go over is some things that you may already know that you're doing to your hair that's stopping it from growing longer, but then I'm also going to get into a few points that you may not realize that's stopping you from growing your hair longer. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because we do it all the time. And when I say we, I mean myself also. It's just the way that you have to do it to not make it consume your life. Because yes, we want our hair to be beautiful and healthy and thrive and all that good stuff. But at the same time, it just cannot be a total consumption of our lives. Like, we have things to do, people have children, we have jobs and things to do, and we can't just let it overcome our lives. Okay, so I want to go over what is stopping you from growing your natural hair longer. So some things that you may already know that you may be doing with your hair that's stopping you from growing it longer is using excessive heat, or using heat period in your hair, as far as blow drying or flat ironing. Now, I'm not talking about like sitting under the dryer, under a hooded dryer. I'm not talking about that, because that's not stopping you from growing your hair longer, unless you're sitting under there for like 20 hours, like anywhere from 0 minutes to 5 hours is sitting under the hooded dryer is not really doing anything. So that's okay. I'm talking about direct heat, as far as taking the blow dryer or flat ironing your hair. Something else that you probably know or may not know that's stopping you from growing your hair longer is having your hair rubbing on your shoulders. So if you wear your hair down a lot of times and it's rubbing on your shoulders, that friction is stopping you from growing your hair longer, because it's causing friction. So that may be something that you already know or not. It's okay if you don't know. This is a safe place. This is a no judgment zone, okay? Also, excessive pulling. So that may be something that you know, and you're just maybe in a rush with your hair, and you're trying to get something done with your hair, and you're pulling your hair all the time. You're doing some excessive pulling. That's stopping you from growing your hair longer, because you're pulling your hair and your hair is snapping off, and it's actually the ends of your hair that's snapping off. And so it's stopping you from growing your hair longer. So you may or may not know that, but I want to just go over some things that you may already know. So with that being said, I want to get into some things that you don't know is stopping you from growing your hair longer. Okay, and the reason I want to go over this again is because we all go through it all the time and we may not realize it. So I really want you to be aware of what you're doing with your hair, what you're coming into that's stopping you from growing your hair longer, if that's something that you are looking to do, grow your hair longer. So something that is stopping you, and I'm just going to give you a few of them, okay? There is so much that stops us from growing our hair longer, and there's actually something that we can do about it, and I'll tell you about that at the end of the video. So some things that we don't know that's hurting us from growing our hair longer is twisting our hair. So we may do like twist outs or just twist it, period, just to get something done to it. That's stopping us from growing our hair longer. And as much as we do this maybe as a protective style, I did it today. I got 2 twists, you know, in the front, you know, just to get it out of the way so it's not just out and everywhere. This is something that's stopping me from growing my hair longer on a consistent base because it is manipulating my hair and it is weakening my strands. So as much as you may want to think like it's not that big of a deal, it really is. And especially if you do it to your hair all the time or most of the time, that's something that's stopping you from growing your hair longer. And not only is twisting your hair stopping you from growing your hair longer, but braiding your hair or pin curling it is stopping you from growing your hair longer because you are manipulating your hair, you're bending your strands, and the more that you bend your strands from its natural state, the more that it damages your hair. So I'm just going to name off just a few other things that you really may not even realize is stopping you from growing your hair longer. The sun rays is stopping you from growing your hair longer. The wind, the friction from the wind is stopping you from growing your hair longer. Humidity with the cuticle in your strands opening and closing over and over again, that's stopping you from growing your hair longer. Twirling your hair is stopping you from growing your hair longer. Just pulling on it regularly just to, you know, somebody like, well, girl, you don't have no hair and you trying to stretch it out. You like, girl, I got some hair. That's stopping you from growing your hair longer. Just touching your hair, period, is stopping you from growing your hair longer. Not detangling properly. If you are not even sure how to detangle your hair properly, you are preventing your hair from growing longer. Brushing your hair, combing your hair, running your fingers through your hair is stopping you from growing your hair longer. And I can imagine the list that I just gave off, you do a number of these things each and every day. Every single day you are doing a number of these things and it's stopping you from growing your hair longer. That means that if you did not do any of these things on a regular, your hair will be growing faster. But here's the thing. We have to manipulate our hair. Like, we can't just stop manipulating our hair. Manipulating our hair is something that we do because we don't want to look crazy. And we want to look kept and beautiful and feel beautiful and be confident about the way our natural hair looks on a regular basis. But it is a way that you can do it to make sure that you are being successful with growing your natural hair longer. And that's why I wanted to talk about this. One, so you're aware of what you're doing and so that you know what you can, some other alternatives to growing your natural hair longer. So I did want to invite you to join the length retention membership if you are really serious about growing your natural hair longer and you did not know where to start. If you don't know where to start, like you heard these several things that is stopping you from growing your natural hair longer, but you don't know what to do, there is a way out. There is a way that you can get the information that you need step by step. I can give you step by step, and it's actually already available in our membership site. The link is up above in the description box. So if you're ready to go ahead and get started, you can go ahead and get started. And there are trainings already there to help guide you along the way. You don't have to know where to start. You don't have to know anything about your hair. You don't have to know anything about growing natural hair. You don't have to know anything about natural hair, period. But it is a way for you to get into something, to get the information that you need. And not only that, you'll be able to ask any questions. Like here at the No Judgment Zone, yes, you can ask questions about your natural hair, but you'll really be able to go in deep about your specific hair, whatever situation that you have going on with your hair. You can get into, okay, Angel, well, what about this? Because my scalp is doing this, or my hair is doing this, or I have this event coming up, but I want my hair to grow longer. That's okay. This membership takes you step by step into growing your natural hair longer with ease, because it doesn't have to be hard. Like I said at the beginning, when I first realized what I was doing with my hair that was preventing me from growing my hair longer, and knowing exactly what to do with my hair that was not causing so much damage, it was a game changer. My hair really started to grow longer and longer and really thrive and flourish. I felt more confident with my hair, and I just want to pass that along to you guys. All right, so anytime that you have a question about your hair, you can comment at the No Judgment Zone, because I'm here to support you 100% of the way. All right, so we do the No Judgment Zone every week here, and it's at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I'll be back next week. I would definitely encourage you to look into yourself to see if the length retention membership is something for you. I'm not just trying to sell you a membership. I only want you to get into the membership if you feel like it's for you. If you feel like you don't have anywhere to go to, you don't have anywhere to turn, you're looking for more specific answers, and you are really ready to get started with growing your hair longer, click on that link up in the description box, and it will tell you a little bit more what's included in the membership, about our trainings, about the trainings that are already in there, about just everything that's included in the membership. So you can check that out, and I will see you next week, next Monday at the No Judgment Zone at 12 p.m. Central. Thank you, and have a blessed day.